guys, it's Justina from Magpie and Mockingbird, and today we are going to do a tutorial for how to make this advent calendar folio. It's not very big, it's only a 1/2 inch spine, and when you open it up you can see there are 5 different flaps, and then underneath each flap are envelopes that are numbered. This one was meant for Valentine's Day for my husband, so you can see it starts at 1, goes up to 9 on this side. And then over here we have 10, 11, 12, and then we have 13, 14, with 14 being, the big one. So you could make this for a loved one. I was also thinking, like, this could be a Galentine's Day craft, right? And you put ephemera, a Valentine's Day ephemera on each one. And that could be really fun too. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through the measurements, and then we will build this together. And this, to build the outside of this, only takes 2 pieces of 110-pound cardstock. I don't know how much designer paper this takes because I was using scraps from Doodlebug's Berry Sweet collection. I didn't have an actual full page for any of it. So as we craft together today, we'll find out how many designer pages it takes. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through the measurements now, and as I do that, I'll show you what I'm referring to in the book. All right, the first thing you will need is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and we are going to score it at 5 1/4 and 5 3/4. I'll go through the scoring with you after when we start crafting this together, so it makes more sense. But this is just very basic and just makes, the outside of this. I said 2 sheets, guys. There's no way. I must have miscounted. It's got to be 3 sheets. Okay, then inside this are these small flaps, okay, that open like this. And to make these small flaps, they are 2 3/4 by 5 1/2. We are going to make 3 of them, and we are going to score at a 1/2 inch and a 1/4 inch.
That's why, so Papa needs that.
Okay, can you close the door, please, Maggie? Okay, thank you. My daughter is Starfish of the Week, and she needed her marker so that she can make her poster. Okay, so small flaps. All right, then over here, we have, let's see, I think I call this a medium flap. Yep. So this flap right here is 5 1/2 by 3 1/2. And we are going to score at a 1/2 and a 1/4 to make that pocket. And then this large flap right here, this is going to be 5 by 5 1/2. And again, we'll score at 1/2 and 1/4. To make this flap. And then when we open this up to make this gusseted pocket, we'll need a 5 1/2 by 4 1/2, and we will score a 1/2 inch on 3 sides. And then to make this pocket 13, we will need a 5 by 2 1/2, and we are going to score at 1/2 on 3 sides, and then we will envelope punch it right in the center at 2 1/2. All right, then inside these, you probably noticed these pockets. So there are 3 different size pockets. The one that we will use the most of are these small ones right here, and this is just a coin envelope cut in half. That's all I did for this. So if you're looking for the actual measurement for those, it is 1 3/4 by 2 1/4, and then I envelope punched it here at 1 1/8, and we need 6. But if you cut 3 in half, you have 6. So that will take care of this for us. All right, and then these envelopes right here, all I did was I took the envelope and I just snipped the top off. But if you're looking for measurements for that, That is 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. And you will need 4 of those. And I refer to those as the medium envelopes. All right, and this is one of those as well. And then over here, you can see these are slightly larger because this flap is slightly larger than this flap. And that was intentional. When I first made this, I made these the same size, but then when you closed it, there was a gap right here and it looked like a missing tooth. So I had to modify that. Okay, so these slightly larger pockets are 2 1/2 by 2 1/4. You will need 2 of them. And I envelope punched it again at 1 1/8, just in the center. All right, so those are the supplies needed. Let's get started. All right, so we're going to start by scoring everything. And then I think we might actually do some decorating before we do the gluing. What I found, it certainly wasn't impossible by any means, but with the hinge, it made it more challenging to try to glue things down because I didn't have a flat surface to get it. So I think it would be easier if we decorate first and then glue it in. I also lined it with washi tape, and at the time I thought different washi tape would look good. Now I'm not too crazy about it. So I'll be doing it one type of washi throughout. And my thought is to actually pull the washi over to make like a spine with it. But let's see how it goes. Okay, so you have your cover sheet, your 8 1/2 by 11. We are going to put it on the 11-inch side, and we are going to make the spine. All right, so to do that, we are going to score at 5 1/4. Ooh, sorry guys, I know you probably need to see it straight, but if I don't score it at an angle, I don't go straight. I don't know why that is, but that's what I do. And I always score it 3 times to get a nice deep crease, especially in this 110-pound cardstock. Okay, so we have made our spine, and now we are just going to fold, make sure it's lined up, and really get in there and crease it. Okay, and then here we go. Okay, so I am going to stick little reminders for myself directly on this. To remember to put a piece of ribbon on each side so I can have a little bow closure at the end. You can see I remembered that after I glued this down, and so that just wasn't going to happen. And I mean, it sits flat, but I like that extra touch. Okay, so we have our cover done. Let's move on to the inside flaps. Let me find those in my pile. Okay, so now we're doing the small flaps, and that is this right here. All right, we're making 3 of those. So we need to do a hinge. Now my hinge is very small. So if this does not feel big enough to you, please feel free to extend the paper. For me, I knew I was gonna glue down a piece of decorative paper, so it didn't bother me. But there is not much to work with. So if you like to have more to work with, just make the piece longer. And remember, you only want 5 inches here. All right, so I'm going to go through and I'm laying it down on the 5 1/2 inch side. I am scoring at 1/2 inch, and then I'm scoring at a 1/4 inch. And this is just to make a tiny little hinge so that we have some wiggle room for our pockets. So if you want to stuff it, It's not like your book will be exploding. Okay, and that's it. So you can see just these little scores, and then just like before, I fold it like that, and I make sure it's lined up on either side, and then I score it. And you do want these to be as straight as you can, because when you are putting down the flaps, you don't want them to be crossing into each other. All right, so we have our tiny little hinge there. And like I said, like this piece right here is what we're going to glue down. So if that doesn't feel like enough for you, then make this longer. Part where I was saying it might be easier to do this before you glue anything down. Okay, so this next part I want to do before I glue anything down. So this part of the spine, this is going to show, let me show you, when it's closed. So I'm actually going to make mine, I got several colors and ideas, but I think I'm going to stick with this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just line this, have a little bit come off here for a spine. And this part is completely optional. I mean, if you want it to just be pink or whatever, you know, cardstock you have, do it. Okay, there we go. So we have our 3 flaps, and now we're going to add the magnets. I swear by these magnets. I will link it in the description. They are the best. I can't tell you, 'cause I've been doing junk journaling for a while now, and I would always see people do magnets, and I'd want to do it because it, you know, it looked really nice, and it just, I could never get it to work, and my magnets would be bulging out or not strong enough, and I was so frustrated. And it was just the quality magnet I was using. Carolina from Carolina's Crafts recommended these, and I gave them a try. They are, I mean, look how thin they are. They are incredibly thin and strong, and I have had no issues with these. Okay, so this is just double-sided tape, and I am sticking the magnets down so I don't forget, because I tend to forget. And then when we work on the inside cover, I'll show you how to put the corresponding magnet in there in a way that's not frustrating, because that's the other thing, is I used to get so frustrated trying to get that other magnet in there to catch on. And I was watching a Create with Martha Tucker video, and she's got a great strategy. Okay, so we have the magnet done, and now we just need the decorative paper. So I was going through my stash. When Joann Fabric was going out of business, I kind of went nuts with their single-sided paper. Not single-sided, single sheets of paper. And I pulled out this line. I thought this would be really, I love pink and black. I love the contrast. So I think this will be the cover. I'm very bad at matching colors. This is like my biggest hang up. So I like buying collections because the colors are matched for me, because I struggle so much with that. Like, I think this matches, right? Purple and pink. It's got the black through it. Like, I think these go together. But I guess we will find out. So, what I am going to do, this is going to be my cover. I think this will be my inside. And I'm going to make these my flaps. So, I don't actually have like a set measurement. I mean, you could. What you would do is just take off 1/4 of an inch. So, this would be 4 3/4. Let's see. Okay, because this is only 5 now that we've scored it. So you take off. So this would be 4 3/4, and this would be 2 1/2. I find that it doesn't always line up for me when I do that. So what I do is I just, that's pretty. I just get a pencil and I eyeball it. Like, okay, I want it to touch the washi tape, but I want some pink showing. So I just grab my pencil and I just, mark, okay, it will land there. And I do want some pink showing along the top, so I'll mark it here. And then I just cut it and glue it down. So I do individual measurements for everything that I do. And it's probably not the most time efficient way to do it, but I find that I'm not precise enough when I cut and measure that, and that this is the way that works best for me. Okay, we're gonna get this top strip off first. So this fits in my cutter. Look at that. Always hang on to these, you guys. These make awesome decorations to add on to things. Okay. And then, where's my mark? That's the problem too, is I try to go real nice and soft with a pencil. I mean, I think it's right there. And sometimes I can't see it. Okay, so now I have this piece. And I always come back and check it. And that was exactly what I wanted. Have your rag handy if you do too much glue like I do. And we're gonna glue it down. I'm using Barely Art glue for this. I really love this glue. And I always use the fine tip when I do it. So I just try to get really close to the edges, and then I swirl some more glue on, and then I go through for any like spots that have big white parts or no glue. And then I just think it's easier when you can push it straight down like this, rather than have this glued in and hinged. Okay. All right, so you can take your scoring knife, and pull it across. You do have that magnet underneath, but it's not a big deal. All right, and our first flap is done. So I'm going to follow that process and decorate the other two. Okay, so we have our 3, and now we are going to flip them over and do the back, although I'm just pausing for a moment. The back is mostly covered. The back is mostly covered, so I might just line it in something simpler rather than use my nice designer paper when it's going to be, 90% covered. I'm wondering if I should just do black. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, okay. And then for this part, just to make my life easier, I use my Cricut tool to peel up the double-sided tape. You can always get your fingernail in there, but I can't tell you how many times I have managed to paper cut myself doing that. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm gonna get glue on this just because I need time, and I need time to align it, and tape does not give you any time. But glue buys you a couple seconds. And that's what I need. Okay, this paper is 110-pound cardstock. You do not need 110-pound cardstock for this. That being said, these are scraps and they fit, so I'm using them. All right, so this is our flap. Opens up, looks like this. On to the next one. Okay, so we have our flaps, and now we need our pockets. These are probably the easiest ones to do. So we're just going to take our coin pockets and cut them in half. 1.75 roughly. Mine is just over 3, so I'm going just past 1.75. Now, this side you will need to tape that down. All right, that's it. That makes your pockets. So now you want to decorate. This part I might wait, just because I was using scraps to decorate. And I think I'm going to do the same for this. What do I want to tell you about these? I used regular yellow ones, and my scraps weren't big enough for some of them. So I want to just show you what I did, I think down here. Yeah. Okay, so check it out. The yellow part was showing, so I just took a gold paint marker and painted the edges. So if you have the yellow and you don't have scraps that are big enough, there are always ways around it. You can also use a black paint marker. That will look nice too. But just so you know, if you have this color and it's clashing, there are ways around it. Okay, so eventually I will come back to this and I will glue down 2 envelopes. But I would like to decorate these first. So on to the next step. Okay, so we are going to work on the medium flap and the large flap right now. As a reminder, the medium flap is 5.5 by 3.5, and the large flap is 5.5 by 5.5. And we will score both at 1/2 and 1/4 to make that hinge. So I'm going to grab my scoreboard, which is currently holding on my paper. All right, and on the 5.5 inch side, I am going to score at 1/2 inch. And 1/4 inch. And the medium flap on the 5.5 inch side, I am going to score at 1/2 inch. And 1/4 inch. All right. And all right, and there is the medium pocket, and I want everything to match, so I'm going to use the same washi tape to line both of these. That's done, and now we are going to decorate, and I am using the butterfly paper for my decoration. So I forgot to mention, the flap is going to open this way. So I am going to make sure that my butterflies are facing the correct way. I don't think it would be a huge deal, but that's something that would bother me. So we have that flap done, and now we just have to do this one. So what we have done so far is we've created all of the inside flaps. So now I need to line with black, and I need to first do magnets. Done. So there is a little pocket. I think I'm out of frame. I apologize. There is a little pocket that goes pocket 13. So let's make pocket 13, and then we'll keep going. Okay, so this is the little pocket. I have it labeled pocket 13, that when this opens, it will just be down here. So let's score this, and we are going to score this at 1/2 inch on 3 sides to make that pocket. All right, so I'm going to put it down at the 5-inch side and score at 1/2 inch. Flip it over, score at 1/2 inch. Okay, flip it over and score at 1/2 inch. All right, then we have a nice little gusseted pocket now. So, going to fold it. Okay, now when I said to do the envelope punch at 2.5, if the entire thing is open, this is 5 inches and 2.5 is in the center. However, if you have scored the sides, okay, then this is only 4 inches and you would do the center, which would be 2 inches. I hope that makes sense. So I'm gonna keep mine closed and do it right here at 2. All right, and I just get this little notch right in my pocket. Oh my gosh, you guys, I do this every time. Don't do this until you put the paper down. I kid you not, I do that every time. It's not a big deal, but it's a lot easier to just punch once. Okay, so now we're going to miter the corners. So that's when we cut off this excess. So basically this entire piece is getting cut off, and a little bit here and a little bit here. And that way when you go to, you know, fold it and glue it in, you don't have a bulge there. But you also don't want to go straight up to that corner, or you will have a hole here in your pocket. Okay, so now I have to do paper. If I could use the, oh no, that does not match. Okay. Again, I think I'm gonna wait for scrap to do this pocket to finish it. So basically, what you're going to do is glue here, you know, glue it down, Scotch tape it, glue it down like this, and there is your pocket. But I'm gonna wait till I have a scrap to use to decorate this. All right, so you know what? Let's do, so when you open this up, there's a big pocket here. This pocket right here. Okay, so we're going to do this one now. All right, so for that pocket, pocket number 14, if you're making this an advent, it's a 5.5 by 4.5. And again, we are going to score at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. Here, I'll leave that there so you can see it. All right, so we are going to set it to the 5.5 inch side, and we are going to score at 1/2 inch. Flip it, score at 1/2 inch. Okay, flip it one more time, and 1/2 inch. Okay, same process as before. Okay, first we're going to fold. Okay, and then I'm just going to check, and this is 4.5, so 2 1/4 is where I will do my, no, I won't. 2 1/4 is where I'm going to punch this, but I'm going to wait to put the paper down. Okay, miter the corners. Okay, and then you can see we have mostly the pocket, but again, I'm going to wait for scrap paper for that. Okay, so basically we have all the pieces. Let's work on our cover and then glue the pieces down. So let me move this out of the way. Okay, and I have reminded myself to do the ribbon. So let's look at the colors. so this is going to be my cover, right? And I got this value pack at Michael's. I love these value packs because it's all different colors and shades and textures. Okay, so I'm leaning toward this one. Yeah, let's do this. Like this, I don't even know what this is, this braided one, but it looks like chain. And so when I make my purses, I use that as the handles, and it looks like a chain handle. And it's just, you know, this really pretty textured ribbon. I wanted to get this in red, but it's all sold out by me, and it's only shipping. So I'm waiting to see if it comes back in stock. And then I got a champagne one, and I highly recommend the champagne one. It's like different shades of gold, and it's so pretty. Okay, so for the ribbon, okay, I'm going to measure out, let's do 20 inches. Okay. Oh, that is pretty. Oh my gosh, it's even prettier than I thought it was. Okay, so that's 12, 8, that's 20, it's 24. Let's do 22. 22 so that we don't have any issues. All right, where am I new? Look at these scissors. Because they are Christmas color, I got them for $4 at Michael's. I love a win like that. Okay, all right, this ribbon is gorgeous, and I love it. All right, now let's use our double-sided tape. And I mean, if you want to, you can find the exact center. I'm only doing it because the ruler is literally right in front of my face. I normally don't do this. Okay, so like 4 1/4. So there is about our halfway point. I'm doing it here, I might as well do it here, right? All right, and then I'll put down a piece. Normally, guys, I eyeball it. But like I said, it's right in front of me. I don't have an excuse. Okay. And so now what I'm going to do, peel that off and stick that down on my double-sided tape, and then come on over here. Okay, and stick that down. And this does not have to be perfect, you guys. Okay, and now I have, you know, this loop right here, which shows me the center. And I just, oh no. All right, I gotta trim it now. User error. Okay. And there we go. We have the ribbon. So I am going to decorate now the cover. And like I said, I'm going to use this beautiful paper that I found. Oh, Joanne Fabric, I miss you. Okay. So again, I do my pencil thing, guys. Oh, no, first, let's put washi here. So it all kind of is the same. So I'm going to put my washi down. And you don't have to do washi. I usually don't. I have to tell you guys, this, I don't usually get along with washi. This is a new experience for washi and I to have a good relationship, because normally it's coming up and peeling off and ripping. I don't like washi, but for this project, it works pretty well. What I typically do is paper for the spine. Although, see, this is where washi and I are not going to get along anymore. It's not thick enough. So now I feel like, oh, am I going to be able to line that up? I don't think I'm that talented. All right, let's give it a whirl. All right, hang on, I gotta. There's too many things sticking to me right now. I got this sticking to me over here. Come on, washi. I just said we were getting along. Okay. Okay, so there's one piece now. Can I line it up? Is that even possible? I'm gonna try. You guys, I did it. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Do you make your own sound effects? I think that's part of being a teacher. You got to make things exciting or the kids lose interest. So celebrate those big accomplishments like lining up your washi tape. Okay, there we go. No washi. See this, you guys. This is my washi experience, is just not cooperating. So if I need to, I will absolutely glue it down. But let's see if I need to. Yep. Okay. Washi's telling me who they are. I'm going to listen. I'm just gonna rub it in there. All right, I'm gonna give that a minute to dry before I just start poking at it. So in the meantime, let's get some beautiful paper on here. All right, so my thought was to have a little border showing. Yeah, let's have it going all the way across. I think that would be pretty. All right, so I'm going to, sorry, can I make any more noise right now? Have just a tiny little sliver of a pink border going around the whole thing. All right, so I'm just marking it. Oh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Sorry, squirrel. Okay. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is cut this off so it fits in my cutter and save it because it's beautiful. Oh, I love that. I wish I knew these things before Joanne went out of business. Would have stocked up on things. Okay, now the fun part is go find your marks. Here we go. There's one. And scissors too. See what I mean about the scrap? Look at that gorgeous scrap. Now that will probably fit. Yeah, look at that, you guys. Perfecto. All right. Glue it down. So it's going to look like that. And then if you were worried about just one little piece of tape for the ribbon, now we have this paper gluing it down. It's so pretty. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so really important that you get the glue right up to the edges for this one. And you want to be pretty generous with your glue. This is your cover, and you do not want this moving ever again. And you know what, while I'm thinking of it, I'm just gonna put lots of glue right here, because you also don't want your ribbon ripping out. All right, and now we're going to glue it down with just that little bit of border. And the nice thing about glue, oops, is that you have time. I give credit to people who can use the tape with their precision and stuff. I mean, maybe one day I will reach that. I don't see that happening though, I gotta tell you. I need time. Okay. Oh, doesn't that look pretty? I love how that came out. Okay, so we have one piece, and I'm going to do the same exact thing over here. Actually, I want to flow like one piece, so I'm going to break my own rules and mark on the side that's showing. I know I could flip it, but I know I'm also going to get myself so confused that I'll end up doing it wrong. I know myself too well. Okay. Is that my line? I really hope that's my line. Pocket piece. All right, and then there we go. Oh, this could be the inside. Yep, look at that, perfect. Okay, so go through and erase if you need to. I don't see any pencil marks. I think we're good. Okay. And then I always just check to make sure I've cut it correctly, because sometimes there are unpleasant surprises. But that looks good. All right. So now we're going to glue it down. Okay. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I really like that, you guys. And then, oh, look at that. Cooperating washi tape. Knock on wood. This is plastic, so, oh well. Okay, now we have the inside to do, and it's going to be the same idea, except we are actually going to glue our pockets down first and then cover it with the designer paper to hold it in place. Oh, and what I do, you guys, is I do the bottom and I do the top first. And that way, when I go to put the middle piece in, it's not like, oh God, it doesn't fit. Right? Okay. So anyways, that's my thinking. That's what I'm going to do. Let's do this. Oh, you know what I do, guys? Just put a block on it. Okay, I let it dry for a couple minutes, and I'm actually just going to leave it alone for now, and we'll work on, sorry about that, we'll work on magnets. All right, so what we're going to do is get magnets here so that the flaps close, and then we're going to cover this entire page with a piece of decorative paper after to kind of clean everything up. Okay, so I told you guys I would show you that technique with the magnets, all right? And what you do is you get your double-sided tape, cut yourself off a piece, all right, get your magnet. All right, so now I'm going to have it sticky side up, okay? And I put my magnet in the middle, sticky side up, and then, I don't know if you can see this. Let me center it more, okay? And then I just let it, whoops. I just let it find the magnet, okay? It does that itself. And then I close it. Oop. Then I close it. Okay, and there we go. And now the magnet is lined up where you want it to be. And we're good. So we'll do that 2 more times. To decorate with this paper, and I think I'm gonna cut off this white on the bottom. Honestly, I don't want it, so I'm going to put it up so it goes like right up against the edge of this, okay? And then cut it here. All right, so now I am going to trim this paper, measure it, and stick it here. Okay, so we're going to put the pockets down, the magnets down, and then we will decorate with this paper. Okay, took a 4-hour hiatus and brought the kids to the trampoline park. So back to business. We are going to glue the pockets down. All right, so we have both these pockets. And just like this side, we're going to just glue it right up against the edge. Guys, we have constructed most of it. So, why? I don't know what's going on. It's like barely catching. I mean, it lays flat. It's not going to flop open. It's just I'm not used to it not like grabbing. Okay, so it looks like this, right? The outside looks like this. Oh, it's so pretty with that ribbon. And there's our inside. Pretty nice, huh? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through and decorate the envelopes and glue them in. I don't feel like you need me talking at you for that, so I'll probably just speed it up and turn the volume off. But let me go over in case you're feeling unsure of what next steps are. All right. So, and you know, this is my personal preference. You do not have to do this. So what I would do is I would use these half-size envelopes, right? And I would do 2 here because they fit really nicely. And then I would use, here. All right, so these I'm just going to cut the tops off of them. So these will be 3 1/4 by 2 1/4 when I cut the tops off. And I just put, you know, 1 on each side like this, okay? And then all right, then over here, wish I knew why that magnet is not catching. It's weird. Okay. Okay. Over here, what I do is I cut these, but I don't cut them as much. So these are going to be 2.5 by 2 1/4. So I make them, you know, taller up here because there's more space to fill. But then I just do a regular one right next to it, okay? And now, remember those pockets we made? So one pocket will go here, the short one, okay? That's 13. And then pocket 14 will go right here, like that. All right, so I'm going to go through and decorate and cut and glue, and you know, feel free to hang out and watch or fast forward to see what it looks like at the end, and I'll talk to you guys soon. envelope to go inside pocket 14. So I was very fortunate to have a nice chunk of paper left. This is 6 7/8 by 6 7/8, and this is going to make a 4x4 card. No, a 4x4 envelope. Okay, so according to my punch board, I start at 3.5. So I'm going to line this up at 3.5, punch, and score. And this is the part that gets tricky. And I'm pretty sure it was Tony in Craft Purge. I watched her video. This is how I learned how to use this machine because I could not figure it out. You then line up your score line. You don't, your score line here, you don't keep going back to 3.5. So punch and score. And now you line up the new one, punch, score, line up the last one, punch, and score. Okay, and then you see how you have these sharp corners here? Then you turn this and you round all the corners. It's a nifty little machine. Okay. And then you just, fold it. So. Nope. Okay, so then I'm going to fold it down here, and then this is the top of my envelope. My envelope is very busy, but that works. And then I have this piece of scrap paper, so I folded it in half, and I did the corner rounder, got a piece of pink paper, and this can be the actual, note inside. All right, so let's glue it down. All right, and then it's coming up a bit here. Let's get that. All right, and there we go. I got a cute little envelope with some upside down butterflies. Probably should check that side first. So note to self, check that side first. So anyways, this goes in here. And then once, you fill it out, you would seal it. I'd probably use like a butterfly sticker right there. Okay, let me walk you through it. We're done, guys. So, you could keep embellishing the front. My thing is that this needs to lay flat. So, you could add stickers, flat stickers, but you don't want to do anything that's going to, like puffy stickers or anything that's going to prevent it from laying flat. All right, so here is our butterfly inside. Let's start on this side. And we have all of our envelopes. And you can number them. You can put tags in it, bookmarks. It's completely customizable. Ephemera for a little Galentine gift. All right, then over here. Doesn't make the Snapdragon crazy, you guys. All right. More decoration. I did make a tag to go there because I had like the perfect size scrap paper. And then uh-oh. Nope, it fits. It will fit. All right. So it's going to be tight, right? So just get your scoring knife in there. Just open it back up. Not going to hurt anything. It's all glued down nicely. And we taped the bottom of this, so it should go in smoothly. I mean, technically this should fit. This is a gusseted pocket. There we go. I just wanted a little bit of drama. All right, and so there is our envelope. And here is our project. And then the last thing I do is just tie a simple bow for the closure. And I mean, you don't need the closure. It's closed on its own. But look at this ribbon. I mean, come on. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will be back soon because I hit 100 subscribers and I have a giveaway. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.